Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health risk for January 13th, 2026. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com. And we do maintain a patient weather storefront on Amazon. Amazon purchases made through our storefront supports the activities of patient weather. Looking at the weather map for January 13th, it's basically high pressure dominating the country from coast to coast. There is that low pressure center just north of Michigan that will be drifting away, but you can see there still is some lake effect snow or some downwind snow, especially up in the northeast. Looking at our vitality index, which is a composite or a measure of all of the different weather elements that change that could impact human health. And you can see we have a little touch of activity going on here in northern Canadian border, but the heart of activity is up and down the plains everywhere east, but really significant about the Tennessee, Ohio Valley into the Great Lakes. And the reason for that, most of, is pressure change, and that we have rising pressure right along the Canadian-U.S. border, actually covering from Vancouver clear across northern Washington, getting into Montana, and then dipping a little bit further south into North Carolina and picking up some northern Minnesota. But the story of pressure change will be falling pressure, and from Texas to Nebraska, everywhere east, including northern Florida, but really intense across the Tennessee, Ohio Valley, and Great Lakes. Looking at temperature change, and at this time of the year, especially in frigid January, these nice warming temperatures will be significant, and with it comes a little bit of a risk of migraine. For every 10 degrees of temperature rise, the risk of migraine does increase a bit, and we're talking about rising temperatures here in southern Texas, but really, again, through that same general area we've been talking about with the falling pressure, that is from the Tennessee and Ohio valleys and about the lower portions of the Great Lakes. A very nice rise. A little bit of a rise right here on the Carolina coast. Dew point temperature change basically supports the same issue that we've been talking about, and we have falling dew point temperatures here through the heartland, rising dew point temperatures here in north of New England, but again, pardon me, it was rising dew point temperatures here with that low pressure center. Looking at POI, which is our change in the atmosphere oxygen availability, you can see we have that risk of migraine across Montana, actually scooping down a bit into northern portions of Wyoming, actually reaching down in Nebraska, but covering South and North Dakota and clipping the northernmost sections of Minnesota. But the story of this is, of course, asthma and arthritis risk, and that's everywhere from a slight risk here in the Four Corners, then everywhere up and down the plains, Texas to Kansas, and east, everywhere east, including Florida. But the real significant risk of asthma and arthritis on the 13th will be here in the middle Mississippi Valley, picking up portions of Missouri, a little bit of Iowa, but Illinois, Indiana, Ohio into western Pennsylvania, and Michigan. So again, that dominant area is the Tennessee and Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, tell us where you're located.